One of the things I really appreciate about what you do is that you don't like looking back. You're always looking forward to the next thing. I mean, if you look through all your albums, after you go before that to, Polyphonic Spree and Sufjan Stevens, you're never the same from record to record.
It's true. I don't I don't know how to do anything but just kind of go forward. It's nostalgia's scary.
Well, you also maybe would develop crutches and do the same thing over and over again. So with this album, you recorded this at Electric Ladyland.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that you're a Jimi Hendrix fan.
I love Hendrix.
What was it like working in that space? Did you feel anything?
I did feel things. Electric Lady is so cool because you're walking among your heroes. And I mean that like you're like in the vocal booth where, Jimmy cut this and that. But then also you're like literally walking among your heroes. You're like, oh, Bono's in line for the bathroom. It's just very like you're just.
Was it like that?
Well, I mean, I just mean that at any given time, everyone in the world who's successful at music is like in the building. So you're running into, people who you're fans of. So
Yeah.
it's a really like, it's a very, it's a cool environment in that way.
With this record, you managed to work with a number of people. Is there anybody that you would like to work with in the future?
Actually, you know what? Who I would love to work with, and it has nothing to do with music, but I would love to work with Isabelle Huppert.
Oh, why?
Well, I'm going to direct a feature film, so I would just love to work with her. I'd like to be in the same room with her when she's acting, basically. And I figure the only way I can do that is being a director.
Okay, let's just stop here for a second. A feature film.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that, or can you elaborate on that?
Oh, sure, yeah, I can. So I am directing a modern adaptation of A Picture of Dorian Gray with a female protagonist. And the screenplay is written by this wonderful, brilliant guy named David Burke, who wrote this film called Elle, which came out a couple of years ago, early last year. The French film that is so bananas.
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
It's demented and hilarious. I loved it so much. And so David's written this incredible adaptation of Dorian.
So is this Dorian Gray adaptation, is this being done through a studio, or is it being done independently?
It's with Lionsgate.
Okay, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And, all right. See, again, never looking back, always looking forward.
Yeah, let's figure out something else I can try to do.
Well, you've got your own.
See if I can do it.
You've got your own guitar now. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get into a little bit of guitar gear porn here. What's it? Okay, describe the guitar.
The guitar. So it kind of looks like a retro future Klaus Nomi experience. It's really lightweight because again, I'm putting my 20 plus years of guitar playing into making this guitar. So I'm a small person, so I made it very lightweight. I made it very comfortable to play either standing or sitting. It comes in lots of different colors. It has.
Did you look for a particular tone or sound?
I looked for tone flexibility. So it has 3 mini humbuckers and a kind of convoluted but very cool pickup configuration. So it has basically all the tone flexibility you want. I honestly haven't played another electric guitar since I designed this guitar. And that's not because I'm contractually obligated to do anything. It's purely because I love this guitar and it is wonderful. And it's exciting to see because players in all kinds of different genres are playing it. Like Jack White played it on SNL. Tom Morello has one. I've seen we make an all black version. That's like the stealth version, which is for metalheads. And metal dudes play it. There's country players who are playing it. It's really cool. It's a really flexible guitar.
And that's the flexibility that attracts them to.
Yeah, and I think because it's an unorthodox shape. It's a new shape basically. And you know, it's the kind of thing that people are either going to love or hate because it's, you know,
It's
new.
different. Yeah.
It's different.
Do you consider yourself a guitar hero? You kind of fall into that category now.
I don't think about that in those terms ever. I really don't. It would be a strange thing for me, like psychically to.
But you got to know that there are young kids looking up to you, seeing you play this guitar in the way that you play it, playing your own guitar, thinking, I would like to do that one day. I mean,
Great. I'm so excited if kids want to play guitar. It's the best thing.
you played the part of Kurt for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction for Nirvana. That must have been another surreal experience.
Yeah, the remaining members of Nirvana asked for women to come up and sing Nirvana songs at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, and one of them was Kim Gordon, you know, obviously, and Joan Jett and Lord, and one of them was me. And I would say that it was surreal, but it was also very bittersweet in that everyone there, including me, and everyone just wishes that Kurt was still alive. So it was incredible to be asked to be, you know, part of the celebration of that momentous legacy that is Nirvana. I wouldn't be playing music. I wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for Nirvana, you know. But obviously the grief and the loss is still so real.
Let's go and talk about Mass Seduction. And you had Jack Antonoff of Fun help you out with this one. What kind of a guy? I mean, Jack is one of those guys that's in big demand right now as a songwriter, as a producer. What did he help you with on this record?
Jack is the ultimate cheerleader. He's so enthusiastic. He's funny. He's kind. And I think, you know, a big part of making a record and doing something so intimate with somebody is wanting to be in the room with them, you know, wanting to be alone in the room with them for hours and hours and hours for months and months. So he's just, you know, he's a really safe person to try things with, and he's so enthusiastic so that even if you're like, oh, I tried this thing, I'm not really sure about it, and he's like, no, that's awesome.
Did he have a method in the studio or a method in the pre-production that was different for you?
He likes to kind of chase butterflies in a way, in such a great way. He works really quickly, and you know, you think a song that you're working on is kind of going one way, and then all of a sudden, like I said, you know, he sees a butterfly and just goes and like chases it for a minute, and you end up in a totally different place.
That's I guess the mark of a good partner, right? Because
yeah,
they
he's
will
a great partner.
force you down different roads without even realizing you're being forced. Or maybe you're not being forced,
Yeah,
you're
it
just being
wasn't.
led.
I wouldn't even say forced on anything. It was. He has such like a delicate hand at it. I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm like picturing like running through a field of butterflies. That's what I'm like. Remembering what making the album was like, but I'm sure there was a lot more pain.
The album's fantastic.
Thank you.
I think it's one of my favorite albums of the last 12 months. And when I heard it for the first time, I thought this should be a massive, massive hit across the board on both sides of the Atlantic because it's such a solid record on so many fronts.
Thank you.
And the videos are freaky and fun and sexy.
Thank you. The Fast Slow Disco one was especially fun to make.
Yes, we'll post a link to that just so people know exactly what we're talking about.
I was covered in pubic hair and lube.
I'm glad you said that, and not me.
It was so fun. It really was so fun.
Well, thanks. And next time we will come in, we'll talk a little bit more about some of your other projects, like the film, when the film comes out. Let's
Absolutely.
talk about
Sounds good.
that. All right. See, you're all ready for it. Okay.
Thanks.